I also think of her as being exquisitely emotionally sensitive, or sensitive to the vibration in a room, or energetically sensitive. Yeah.
She is. She feels, as you know, in your office, it can be hard for her after a long period of time with all the vibrations of the different remedies in there. And she's just now, in situations like that, she's just now being able to say, I need to go someplace else. This is too much for me. But when she was very small, she would cry and cry and cry because she didn't know. She didn't know how to verbalize that, and she probably didn't know what was wrong. But I've practiced with her saying, you know, how does it feel to be in here in a certain place if it looks like she might be about to overload, or what does this feel like in your body? And so she's starting to recognize what those feelings are and when she needs to move herself to another place. Even now, when she gets off the school bus at the end of the day, she needs a little bit of quiet time to herself. We don't schedule things right after school. Sometimes it's just coming home and sitting next to me and reading a book. Sometimes she just likes to go into her bedroom by herself.
So while we're talking about boundaries, both emotional and energetic, I might mention another homeopathic remedy, phosphorus, which actually people can get in a health food store, very well known for boundaries. I'm thinking about kind of vibrational, like you talked about my homeopathic remedies, which is astonishing to me that she can feel it. I mean, I can't feel it. Most of my clients can't, but it's like 1% of my clients can pick up a tube of a remedy and say, I think this is good for me, or it's not good for me, just by feeling it. So right away, that's very unusual. I have clients who can walk into a room where somebody who was sad or mad or whatever had been there but had left, and my client will walk into the room and they will start to feel sad, mad, whatever, without knowing why.
Right.
And it's because they're picking up on the energy of the room. I didn't take this seriously until I had a client who was trying to describe this to me, and he said he went to an all-day Buddhist silent meditation retreat, and instead of becoming more and more peaceful, he became more and more angry for no apparent reason. And then at the end of this 8 hours of silence, he heard the woman behind him talking, and he realized that she was angry, and he had been picking up on her anger to such an extent that his meditation had not been able to overcome it. And I thought, man, I have to start taking this seriously, that there are people who describe themselves as being psychogenic sponges. It's like they take stuff inside themselves, which is different from being sympathetic, concerned, intuitive. In those cases, like, I'm here, you're there, I know what you're feeling, I'm concerned, but these people actually feel it inside their bodies, and they don't even know what's them, and it can be crazy making.
It can
and
be
uncomfortable.
Hard.
Yeah,
it can, and that's something that I actually did practice with Eden when she was very small. As I was experiencing how much I held in my emotions and wasn't able to express them, I would find that she would be moving them for me.
Right.
So as she's expressing anger or sadness, and then I'm saying to her, hey, what are you doing? You know, and almost, you know, berating her for what she's doing when what she's doing is actually helping me out. So that was a huge lesson. And then I could start asking her, okay, you've been crying for a while. Is this yours, or is this someone else's that you're moving out? If it's someone else's, let it go. And a lot of times she'd be able to do that. So that's another way of learning what is your self, what is someone else's self, and being able to erect proper boundaries to try to learn how to manage it. And she does pretty well with that now.
And she's been a teacher for you to make you aware of your emotions. There's no getting around it, right?
There's no getting around it. She is the most difficult taskmaster I think I've ever had, and she's relentless.
Yeah, she's the wise woman.
She is the wise woman.
Yeah.
She is.
I just want to finish up with phosphorus because it can help people. We talked about people with a phosphorus constitution. It's like a certain inborn constitutional type. And people who are a phosphorus constitution often is a certain facial type. Big, beautiful, bright eyes, big, wide smile, basically a movie star look or a cover girl of a magazine look. So they're often, they may be the most beautiful one in the class, male or female, beautiful, handsome, whatever, and kind of with very sparkly, sunny, outgoing energy, life of the party kind of person. But each of the constitutional remedies has kind of a flip side, a downside. And with phosphorus, it's that they're so incredibly sensitive. They can get exhausted easily. Like you mentioned with her, she can get tired just with all this processing. They can take other people's emotions inside themselves. They can be sensitive to other kinds of well, maybe Wi-Fi or different kinds of vibrations, and taking phosphorus as a remedy can just create a very nice boundary, you know, not shutting the world out, but getting to the point that most other people can function in the world, you know, like really turning down the volume on that great sensitivity. And people could just get a 6C potency, a low potency of phosphorus, and just try taking it and just notice. And then with homeopathy, once it works, you stop for a while until the feelings start to come back. So it's definitely not something to take for the rest of your life, but for somebody of this type, something to have on hand and something to come back to, perhaps at times of stress or times of exposure to something intense.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So one of the things you've told me about Eden is that she likes what we call the cell salts or tissue salts, which are like, they're like homeopathic remedies. They're minerals that are very slightly homeopathically energized. They're more like a nutritional supplement than meant to cure something, because they basically carry the energy of calcium, sulfur, phosphorus, you know, whatever, magnesium, and they're teaching the body how to use it, how to assimilate it, and how to use it better. So there are 12 of them, as you know, and you have told me that you can spread them out and that Eden can actually choose the one that she needs, and it seems to make sense. And you were going to share with us her the three favorite types of things that she takes in this department.
Three, yeah. And I'll add to that, they're great for small children because they dissolve in the mouth.
Right, there's no worry about aspiration, and kids love them.
And kids love them. I don't know, they just like the taste. She's liked them from the minute.
It's little sugar, yeah.
I gave them
tiny bit of sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I would say that kids seem to understand they're medicinal because they don't ask for them the way they would ask for candy, even though they're sweet.
They don't.
They seem to understand that it's for something when they're not
It's something
feeling
helpful,
well
and it doesn't have that sort of feeling of medicine. I know with the boys when I'd say, okay, take this medicine, they, oh, I don't want that, it doesn't taste good. So